Welcome back. The International Organization for Migration says that more than 1,000 people have drowned in the Mediterranean this year, sailing from Libya to Europe, with a rush in the past few days to beat an anticipated crackdown by the European Union. Around 204 people have died in the past few days after being packed into unsafe vessels by smugglers, with 103 lost in a shipwreck and more lost on Sunday when a rubber boat capsized east of Tripoli, with 41 survivors. IOM's Libya Chief of Mission, Othman Belbasi, spoke of the alarming increase in deaths at sea off Libya's coast, with smugglers exploiting the desperation of migrants to leave before there are further crackdowns on Mediterranean crossings by Europe. Well, the flow of migrants has abated since a peak in 2015, with the number attempting the dangerous sea crossings from North Africa falling to tens of thousands from hundreds of thousands. And as part of efforts in combating malaria in Uganda, software engineer Brian Gitter has created a bloodless test device that could be used in health centers in the future to diagnose the disease. Mr. Gitter recently won the 2018 Africa Prize for Engineering Innovation after developing a kit that tests for malaria without drawing blood. The Africa Prize for Engineering Innovation, founded by the Royal Academy of Engineering, is Africa's biggest prize dedicated to engineering innovation.
Ugandan software engineer Brian Gitter created this test kit that can detect malaria using a beam of light to test a patient's finger. The test kit, called matibabu or treatment in Swahili, is connected to a phone or laptop where it replays results. A red beam on the kit detects changes in shape, color and concentration of red blood cells affected by the malaria parasite.
The patient holds still and inserts their finger into this device, and then that device is started with either the phone or the laptop that is connected to the device, holding still for 2 minutes. The patient leaves their finger into the curvature for the device, and after the sampling, the results are sent to the laptop or to the phone to show whether you have malaria or not.
Matibabu wants to replace traditional methods of checking for malaria through blood tests and promises to give a quick diagnosis. The 25-year-old is the youngest and first Ugandan winner of the 2018 Africa Prize for Engineering Innovation. He says he hopes the kit will help reduce unpleasant tests and costs for patients, as well as discourage people from self-medicating whenever they have symptoms of fever. The award will provide funding, training and mentoring for the project as the team continues to develop the test kit further. Various researchers and organizations have also offered to support the project. Dr. Joseph Okia, a physician at Nakasero Hospital, says the innovation could be a game changer that helps reduce costs in managing hospital waste like used needles, but warns that the device will need to give very accurate test results to be effective.
We look at medical tests. We have something called sensitivity and specificity. Sensitivity means how likely is this test able to detect someone with malaria? Yes. Usually we want to aim for something above 95%. Yes. The developers have talked about 80%. The second question is, how is specificity? How specific is this test for malaria? What if I have another infection? Will this test also say positive? Yes, if something else happens in my blood cells? So those are the two questions I think we want to know about this test.
Gitter worked with a team to develop the device over 4 years after skipping classes at various points because of having malaria.
Let's take you to Libya, where cinema enthusiasts are longing for the big screens years after many movie complexes have been left in ruins. The cinemas were originally scheduled for maintenance in 2009 after Turkish companies were contracted with renovating several of them. But just as renovation work started on the city's major cinemas, the 2011 revolution brought the project to a complete halt.
Blank screens and broken chairs are all what's left of some of Libya's biggest cinemas, which have been shut down since before the 2011 revolt. President of the Libyan General Authority for Theatre and Arts, Mohammed Al-Bayoubi, says his institution has been working with the UN-backed government in Tripoli on a plan that will see the renovation of a few screens starting as early as 2019.
Cinemas were closed in Libya in 2009 as they were undergoing renovation by Turkish companies. But until now, these projects have not been completed, and now cinemas were not reopened. However, we have sat down with the Presidential Council and have formed a specialized committee that will be tasked with solving this problem. And God willing, we have a set plan that by 2019 or 2020, we will try to reopen some of the cinemas and resume renovation work on the rest.
Today, youths and adults rent out a bootleg DVDs or use online streaming websites as an alternative to going to the movies, which was once a glamorous pastime for the country's elite. Some Libyans say they want to see movies at the same time as their international release and not have to wait several months to get a copy.
The cinemas have an unusual role. When a movie comes out and people go to watch it at the cinema, this is very different from when buying it in form of a DVD, or tape, or to watch it even on the internet. But these technologies have taken over Libya, and with the closure of cinemas, some of which have been destroyed and others changed their activities, I seriously hope that it can return, especially for youths, because of the role it plays. Watching a movie in cinema is intellectual.
Going to the cinema was among the many activities that the country's former strongman Muammar Gaddafi outlawed for periods of his dictatorship to protect his regime from what he regarded as the threat of cultural invasion. Hundreds of media outlets, artists and musicians sprang up when Libya was freed from his rule. But with the security across the country deteriorating after the revolution, most projects shut down soon after their inception.
Shutting down the cinemas poses a great danger to future generations and even the current ones, because cinema and art in general allow people to be more open to life and to help release a lot of tensions one might have, as well as battle extremism and terrorism. When cinema and the art are present in any country, they become a very powerful tool in defeating ignorance, terrorism and extremism.
Tripoli alone has 25 cinemas, out of approximately 80 spread out across Libya.
Let's hope that the action returns to the cinemas and soon. That's it on Network Africa. Many thanks for watching. I'm Millicent Walker.